So we got the motor out of the Jeep. I didn't get a time lapse because the GoPro's being really stupid. It just stops recording whenever it wants to. But we got the motor out. We didn't have a lot of major hiccups. It was pretty straightforward, other than Daimler Chrysler, in their infinite wisdom, put E-Torx headed bolts on the top two bell housing bolts. So I don't know why they did that, but thanks a lot, guys. Anyway, we got it out. The only hiccup we had was the motor mount brackets were hanging on the actual motor mounts, and normally that wouldn't have been a problem, but because the way the motor locked up, I guess the rod's like touching the pan when you turn it to a certain point. So we couldn't get the last converter bolt out, so we had to pull the motor with the converter hanging off the back of it, which I didn't want to do, but I had to. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and swap that converter and flex plate onto the new motor. Obviously I'm going to put the converter on the trans, then we're going to stab it that way, but we're going to reuse my converter because I know it works, and if I absolutely need it, I have a backup converter, so it is what it is. I might get that one restalled because we are going to go turbo, and it might help a little bit to have a higher stall speed, but we'll figure that out later. The plan was to take this motor out before it exploded and build it for boost, but you see, didn't happen. So we're just gonna, I guess, if the head survive, we'll keep the head, but that's about all that's gonna be good. I'm not even gonna try to use the cam or anything like that out of this motor. So let's tear this thing down and see what happens. Into a hiccup yesterday. Everything was going smooth. We were getting all the parts off of the other engine and getting ready to put them all on the new engine, and I had a bolt that was a little rough going in, and so when I ran it in, instead of the threads like cleaning up and kind of fixing themselves, it decided to crack. So now I have to get the welder out and fix this. Almost, you can't even see it, but I'm gonna hit it with the wire wheel, and then we're gonna get the TIG welder out, and I'm gonna have to weld this hole. You can't even see it. I mean, it's impossible to see, especially on the camera, but it's basically right here. So the bolt, there was some WD-40 in the hole, and I was trying to run it in and out, back and forth, and clean it up. Well, apparently I ran it in too fast, and it cracked right up in here. And you could see the WD-40 oozing out on the back side of the threads. So I'm going to go ahead and preheat it a little bit with the map torch, and then we're going to get the TIG out, and I'm going to just put a bead over the edge of this right here. Okay, you can see we got it welded. It's not perfect, but I don't think it'll leak anymore. I think the crack is eliminated. So the girlfriend's picking up motor mounts for us. We're gonna get all the accessories bolted on this motor. I'm gonna clean up all the thread holes and take my time this time and not crack anything. So we'll go through with the pick, clean it up, and then I'll WD-40 the crap out of it and run the bolts in real easy. And then clean up the head surface. That way we can slap the gasket on, throw on the intake and exhaust, and then all the accessories, and it should be ready to go in once the motor mounts are here. Okay, so to keep it simple for you guys, first of all, thank you very much. We're at 503 subscribers. I'm super excited. Obviously the next goal is 1,000, so I can start really monetizing and getting paid from YouTube. I haven't done a lot of uploads. I've done a lot of shorts. If you guys have been keeping track of those, also thank you. Some of them got like 10,000 views, so we're doing okay. I have to get long formats up to meet the criteria and everything. I don't want this to be a short channel anyway, so I'm going to try to keep getting videos up and keeping you guys updated. But as far as right now goes, there's been a few changes. We blew up the Jeep. Those of you that don't know, you're not up to speed. I got a 98 Cherokee. I traded the blue car straight across for it because I needed something to pull my airboat project. Airboat project's kind of on standstill because focus is directed at the Jeep right now. The Jeep put a piston through the block. It's a whole big ordeal, and yeah, so we'll get into everything, kind of get the details broken down for you guys as we go. But right now we're cleaning the engine bay on the Jeep because I decided while the engine is out and we're getting ready to put the new one in, I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up. So me and the girlfriend, huge help. We've been scrubbing the crap out of this thing. We've been purple power, we've been mix matching all kinds of stuff. We haven't made mustard gas yet, but I'm sure we will at some point. We've been mixing matching degreaser and everything. I went and bought this Harbor Freight pump up sprayer. That's made our lives a lot easier, so we can really kind of get this all. It was bad before, it was really gross. There's a rust spot here. This was a Missouri Jeep, so I kind of expected it to be rusty in places. There's certain things like this that holds the grill and everything on it, just broke off. There's a few things. It's not perfect, but it's got automatic. It's AW4. That's the converter that came out of the blown up motor. I didn't want to risk, the new one came with the converter. It's actually still on it. I didn't want to risk that maybe not being okay or not locking up or something strange. I know this one works, so we're gonna go ahead and rock this AW4. It's gonna get a shift kit once we get it boosted. I did just order MS3 Pro. Couple things. First of all, Deechworks has sponsored me on the fuel system for this. They completely covered it. So we've got 750cc Deechworks injectors, and then we've got a 420, a DW420 pump that'll be going in the tank. So we should have enough fuel to make a decent amount of power. I don't know how much this AW4 is going to hold. I know Tyler Shadle's Jeep just killed his AW4, and he's making, I don't know exactly what he's making. He had a weird dyno result from the, he just swapped to an AX15, which is the 5-speed transmission that these came with stock, and they're really strong. The AW4 is a good trans, but they're only good to like 300 foot-pounds, 300 horse, and these things always make more torque than horsepower because they're inline motors. We got the hood on the ground over here. We scrubbed the crap out of it. I'm gonna go ahead and just tape off and paint the engine bay. I'm not worried about the hood. I'm not worried about the rest of the Jeep. We're just painting the engine bay. So we gotta start taping stuff off, which sucks. It takes so long to tape stuff off, but when you're done, it looks good if you take your time and do it right. Prep work is the biggest failure point on paint. So I'm not a body guy. Don't say that I'm a pro or anything, but I can tell you from experience, if you don't prep, it's gonna look like crap. And you can't rush your layers. You can't get too carried away, or you'll have a layer underneath the layer that's not dried, and then you already put another layer on it, and Husker do, Husker don't, whistling kitty chaser, you get the whole ordeal. But we're going to clean this up, get it primed. We gotta scuff it up with Scotch-Brite pad, get it primed. Once it's dried, which it's like 95 or 98 degrees, we're under a shade tree, thank God. But you guys keep subscribing. We're gonna have a shop with air conditioning one of these days. It's gonna be super cool. But engine's gonna go in as soon as we get it painted and all prettied up. Hopefully we don't make it all nasty. I gotta order bulkhead connectors so that we can do all the wiring for the standalone. I do want to get this thing on standalone super soon, but I do want to get the new motor in on the stock computer, get everything plugged in, make sure it's going to work, and then we can pull the harness back off when I get all my ducks in a row. We got to redo the exhaust because it's going to be turboed, so I mean, yeah, a lot. I got to drill a hole in the pan on the new motor, and weld a bung in it, and then I have a 10AN cap that I'll be threading on until I get the turbo set up on. That way I can just pull the cap and hook up the drain line, so I don't have to pull the motor out, pull the pan, drill a hole. I'm not doing this 25 times if I can avoid it. So I guess I'll set you guys on a time lapse. We're gonna start taping stuff off and getting ready to prime it. I'm gonna try to make it look as decent as I can for a 25-year-old Jeep. What's up, guys? Hopefully you can see me okay. It's loud. It's actually the 4th of July. So there's a storm rolling in behind me. We had to go ahead and start picking everything up for painting on the Jeep. I'm just gonna throw this all, I was gonna like do 2 videos, but I'm just gonna throw all this into one long video. I'll try to keep it as short as I can. But next video we're going to be doing studs and getting the motor in the Jeep, and then from there we'll have to start doing fuel system and all that. But like I said, I want to get everything done and get the motor in and make sure it's going to run, not have any weird noises, and we can go from there. So we'll be back. Thanks again, you guys. So we're at 508 subscribers, I believe now. So you guys keep doing what you're doing. I sure appreciate it. And we're gonna get the Jeep put together and make some turbo noises. And if you guys keep subscribing and we get 1,000 plus and we can start like monetizing and making some money, we might do something cool with the Rambler. So you guys stay tuned. I'm gonna keep uploading. It's been like 3 months since I've had my last long format video. I've just been doing a bunch of shorts. I haven't had a whole lot going on, so I didn't want to bombard you guys with just a nonsense video. So you guys kind of up to speed now. If you have any questions or suggestions or anything, feel free. The comments always open. I make sure the comments are always turned on. So thanks again, guys. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll be back.